Brandon Thomas and Ronan Clequit team Aquaman and Green Arrow together as they unravel a timeline-spanning conspiracy involving dinosaur men, time travel, and a case of mistaken identity. Brandon Thomas begins a very surprising mystery series with an issue that delivers more questions than it does answers. I thoroughly enjoyed the twist that somehow Oliver and Arthur have switched lives and how it's played out in the book, and even on the front cover, which is you don't see that they have actually switched or anything. It's very sneaky how they do it, and even throughout the comic you don't really know until the big reveal halfway through. Of course, this whole thing is definitely tied to what this character General Anderton is up to with time travel and doing stuff with dinosaurs and whatnot, but both plots seem really disconnected, at least until the final page. Of course, this is sort of the point of the story since we don't know as much as what the heroes do, and we'll be going through them on this journey and discovering it while they discover it, and that's part of it. But I do wish there was a little bit more revealed here and sort of more ties together, but I trust Brandon Thomas to deliver an interesting and entertaining mystery for the heroes to deal with. Ronan Clequit's art for the book was pretty great, and I love the twist reveal with Oliver and Arthur and how it was left up to the art to reveal that. And it was done in such a really great way, since up until the point they're revealed, all their faces are covered in shadow, or there's something protecting their faces like a helmet or something, so you don't really know. And as well as, like, if you do get a glimpse at them, they kind of have the same sort of facial hair with like a beard and their same sort of hair color as well, so you don't know until that moment, which is really great. Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target Issue 1 was a fun, twist-filled beginning to Brandon Thomas's new mystery, and while we were left with more questions than answers, it's an interesting premise and unique team-up that has me interested in the 7-issue series. I'm going to give this issue a 7.5 out of 10. Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target Issue 1 sees a satellite pass over the Glacier National Park in Montana, where General Anderton tells his team they have 11 minutes to do this. The team rush to set up a type of device, activating it, and in a flash of light, a baby dinosaur appears in the device. The team move to get everything bagged and tagged since there is no telling what they could learn from it, as Anderton shoots the dinosaur in the head, telling his team to scrub it as he tells his boss that Test 34 was a success and it shifted living tissue from the past to the present. He reassures his boss that this was a good day as his team pack up their devices and leave as the satellite moves back over the area, but Anderton and his team are long gone. 2 years later, Green Arrow collects some of his dive gear from a team, telling his people not to call him Mr. Queen as he dives into the water, traveling all the way to Atlantis, where he breaks into one of the buildings, with the hole being found by some patrolling guards. The guards are suddenly zapped by an electro arrow as Green Arrow chokes them out, apologizing but reassuring that they will be fine and he will get the truth of all of this. Green Arrow heads to the throne room, spotting Aquaman as he says that he had the room drained for him every night to make it easier for him. He doesn't know what's happened as Oliver attacks, firing arrows at the king, which all easily break against his tough skin. He tells Oliver to knock it off as it's revealed that Green Arrow is actually Arthur Curry and Aquaman is Oliver Queen. Arthur tells Oliver to get off his throne as 18 months ago in the past, Anderton fires his gun and waits a few minutes until a portal opens, taking him back to the present along with a curious dinosaur that wandered onto the teleportation pad. Anderton's people complain about their boss, but another says as long as they get good data, he should be happy. Anderton is welcomed back, but suddenly the medics are called in as a Code 6 is activated. Arthur meanwhile wants to know what Oliver has done since he's sitting on his throne with his trident in his hands, and he has all of Arthur's power that he got from his mother, and all he has is some bows and arrows and meaningless wealth. He knows that this didn't happen on purpose, but Oliver did mess up somewhere and he needs to know where and how to get them back to where they belong. Oliver says that he's in the dark as much as Arthur is and he can have his creepy fish powers back. Arthur is insulted he thinks of his mother's powers like that, firing an arrow at Oliver that blinds him as he charges the man. The two men battle one another as the blind Oliver cuts Arthur with his trident, knowing that he might not be able to see Arthur, but he can sure hear him. Oliver tackles down Arthur so he pulls another arrow from his quiver, but finds he can't fire it, so he throws it at him in frustration. Oliver grabs it, finding the arrow is not weighted correctly and he would barely be able to even shoot it. He realizes what the arrow was too late though, as it unleashes a sonic discharge that deafens the hero. Oliver destroys the arrow as Arthur says that it was like that for him when he first developed his powers and everything was too much for him to handle, and it took years of training to get his senses under control. He knows that their bodies know the difference, since Oliver's is acting like how it would act if he was Green Arrow and Arthur's is acting like how it was if he was Aquaman. Oliver begins choking Arthur, angered at what has happened to him and warning Arthur not to fire any more arrows at him, otherwise he'll break his neck. He says that he's been waiting for the hero since he needs his help because this isn't his fault and he likes his bows and arrows and money and wants it all back. He offers Arthur his hand in peace, wanting to get their heads straight and fix this. The heroes head to the surface where they meet with Arthur's friends, introducing Oliver as Oliver Curry, the Aquaman. The men are happy to meet the hero, knowing it must be pretty cool that he can breathe underwater. Oliver plays it off as it is, as Arthur tells his men to get them back to home base. The boat driver though messages General Anderton, who thanks to his recent trip into the past and the dinosaur that came back with him, has been turned into a Dinosaur Man himself. He says that he is glad that they are on the move, since soon the heroes will be back with them and they need to make sure they are prepared this time.